Chapter 346. It turned out that the man that Olivia was embracing was none other than the chairman of a public-listed company in Westcliff. Not only that, but the other party's last name was also Richard. Was he their relative? Alex could not help but ask Emma, "Dear, do you know of the relationship between the Richard family and this person named Sean Richard? Is he a distant relative?" "I don't know," Emma replied. "I have never heard of him before." "That's strange," Alex murmured. Normally, the chairman of a public-listed company with a market value of tens of billions of dollars would not mix with someone on the low end such as the Richard family. Let alone someone such as Olivia. "Do you think that they are having an inappropriate relationship?" Emma hurriedly replied, "Don't talk nonsense. That man looks older than my uncle. How could they possibly be committing adultery?" At this time, Olivia was very happy and excited as she was surrounded by a crowd of people. She was finally in the center of attention. Sean, who was standing next to her, was not only the chairman of a public-listed group, but he was also the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. All the businessmen gathered here today naturally wanted to get closer to them so that they could curry up favor with him. When Sean introduced Olivia to the crowd of people, he referred to her as his niece and the future heir of the Richard family. At this time, Sean also took the initiative to announce that he had already invested in the Richard group. All of a sudden, the crowd of people were all very polite and respectful toward Olivia. Even those who could not be bothered about the Richard family in the past suddenly offered to collaborate with the Richard group because they wanted to get into Sean's good books. They quickly exchanged business cards and phone numbers with Olivia, hoping that they would be able to collaborate and work with her. Olivia was naturally very excited because she finally understood what kind of treatment people from the upper-class society received from the public. And she finally understood what it felt like to have power. Everyone had looked down on the Richard family in the past, but after she had decided to embrace Sean, Olivia immediately became the person that everyone wanted to collaborate and work with in the renovation and refurbishment industry. Olivia now realized how materialistic everyone was. At this time, she could not help but think of Emma. Didn't Emma think that she was so great? Didn't she make fun of her because the White family had annulled her engagement with Daniel? Now, she had not only gotten involved with Sean, who was much wealthier and more powerful, but she had also become the director of the Richard Group. Even her grandmother had to treat her with respect. How could Emma possibly be compared to her? As Olivia thought about this, she knew that Emma would also be participating in this industry summit since she had just started her own business and had set up her own studio. She began to wonder if Emma was already at the summit. Therefore, she tiptoed before she looked around the crowd of people to look for Emma's figure. As expected, an extremely beautiful figure suddenly appeared in front of her eyes. It was none other than Emma. Moreover, that piece of trash, Alex, was also with Emma. Olivia gritted her teeth bitterly. She would teach Emma a lesson today, and she would humiliate her as much as she had been humiliated before. As she thought about this, Olivia grabbed Sean's arm before she said, "My cousin and her useless husband are also here. Why don't we go over and say hello to them?" Sean nodded before he said, "Olivia, since both of them insulted and humiliated you so much in the past, I will make sure they pay the price for their actions today." Olivia was so moved, and she blurted out immediately, "Sean, you are so kind to me." Sean smiled slightly before he said, "Isn't it only natural for me to treat you well?" After that, Sean sneered before he said, "Where are your cousins and that piece of trash that you were talking about? Take me to meet them now. I will teach them a lesson today so that they know how to behave themselves in the future. I will also make sure that everyone in the Chamber of Commerce blacklists them today. Who gave them the courage to bully my woman? I think they are tired of living."